My microphone wasn't even on. Okay, so what I was just saying is I tried to play Pokemon Platinum, and then I noticed there was no audio because I was testing some stuff last night, and my audio was off. And then I actually remembered to turn the volume on, so there it was. And then I was like, oh hey, the volume's on. And then I noticed my microphone was off, so I couldn't even, I couldn't even speak. Oh my good gracious, you know, there's a meme somewhere around on my computer that, there was a time a few years ago where I was playing Jackbox Party Pack games on the nice transition that was just a sudden cut. Why doesn't it fade? What happened to my fade? What happens to that? Well, it sort of faded that time. A few years ago, this reminds me, a few years ago, I was doing Jackbox games on this channel. And one of the nerds that came and joined into Jackbox games was one of my early on kind of streamer friendos, who is the person that initially inspired me to start streaming Otofu. He does a whole bunch of Dead by Daylight stuff today. He came in to freaking Quiplash stuff, and for the category of the title of a book that's never checked out at the library, he wrote Harmonia's Guide to OBS Audio. I still have a screenshot of that saved somewhere on my PC because it cracked me up. But that's what that's reminding me of. After I tried to play the game and I noticed it was muted, and I unmuted it, and I was like, hey, the game's unmuted. And then I started speaking and my microphone was muted. Freaking, my goodness. That's what that's absolutely reminding me of. Freaking, if that Tofu nerd saw this, he'd be laughing. You'd absolutely be laughing at that. My good gracious. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well today. Reggie Bump and Mortis. My oh my. Today is the 4th day of Fragapalooza shenanigans. After I've been talking about it during Pokemon Platinum a whole bunch as like coming up and whatnot. It's been this weekend and it's done now at the time of streaming. Well, it's not done now. This is the final day of it essentially. So I was like, hey, let's do some Pokemon Platinum shenanigans on this day. But yeah, that's understandable there, Reggie Bump. I hope you have a good rest of the day. Or rest of the night there because time differences. So, I've been saying for a good while in the Pokemon Platinum playthrough that I wanted to try something out called the Cute Charm glitch, which is something, oh, should I water those berries there? Which is something, interestingly enough, specific to the Generation 4 Pokemon games in general, and works on like all of them, freaking Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, all the Generation 4 games this glitch works on. I did some research into why exactly it works the way that it does, and apparently, the way that a shiny Pokemon is determined has something to do with freaking your trainer ID, which is determined right at the start of the game, which we can see here, for example, my trainer ID being 21305, as well as your secret ID, which, as the name implies, is a secret, which is also determined at the start of the game. And without cheating, there's no real way to know it. There's some ways that you can find out, sort of, I guess. It seemed kind of complicated, the stuff that I was looking into and finding out, but intriguing. So it's determined by those two things along with a Pokemon's unique ID. And apparently, what Cute Charm does is, well, one of the things that it does is it makes there be like a much greater chance of there being a Pokemon of the opposite gender that you encounter in the wild when you're sending that Pokemon with Cute Charm out. So that essentially like limits the IDs by a whole lot more by doing that. And for whatever reason, if your trainer ID and secret ID are like really, really close, then, and you're using Cute Charm to like limit options or something like that, it changes shiny odds from about 1 in 8,192 to about roughly 1 in 5, meaning you just like encounter shiny Pokemon all the time. So I did some research into like codes that people have made for this kind of thing, and I have a cheat activated right now. I'm literally going back to my Cheaty Pete ways. I mean, it's not like it's anything new here, but one of the codes that I found, which credit to, what's the name here again? The name is DeadSkullzJr for making a post on this and making a whole bunch of codes and whatnot that is for this specific thing. So apparently, the code that I have activated right now, if I hit start and select at the same time, should just generate our little preset Clefable here, just for the sake of using Cute Charm kind of stuff. So if I have a look at this summary here, original trainer is showing the person that designed this freaking Cheaty Pete code and whatnot. With all this freaking stuff, Cute Charm contact with the Pokemon may cause infatuation. Yeah, that's the main part of the ability, but it also makes it so that you have a much greater chance of encountering Pokemon's opposite gender out in the wild and whatnot. So that's the Pokemon that this code generates. So if we go ahead and move this, which is just gonna be our Pokemon that we use when we're freaking trying out Cute Charm shenanigans. that part of the code seemed to work just fine. But the thing about the post that I found on these codes and whatnot is it's not actually very clear a lot of the time. Let's go ahead and freaking... Oh, I don't have to water the berries. There's stuff to plant here. It's not actually very clear, and it's a format where it's like scroll down and here's a drop down for like each of the different games and like regions and yada yada to do these codes and whatnot, essentially. So I went and found Pokemon Platinum US and was looking at the bazillion different codes that were there for like the different types of Clefairies and different natures and yada yada for all these different shiny groups or whatever the heck that I don't really care that much about. All it said was to like press start and select to get the Clefable and whatnot. And the main post was saying that it was designed in such a way that you could temporarily change your trainer ID and secret ID rather than it being like a whole crazy thing to like modify your saves. Sure, let's go ahead and put the Greppaberry in. Instead of it being like a whole crazy thing to modify your save to like permanently change your trainer ID and secret ID and stuff like that. Apparently it's a thing that can change your trainer ID and secret ID temporarily for the increased shiny odds, and then it just goes back to normal when you're done with it. And that's all that was described there. And as I was looking over these codes, it seemed like I had read like all of the code and whatnot. And I started going to a few places, testing out some stuff, seeing if we were encountering shiny Pokemon, and there was nothing of the sort. I wasn't encountering any shiny Pokemon. And as I was exploring around, I also ran into Zapdos, one of the roaming legendaries, and it kind of scared the crap out of me for a second because I forgot that the legendary birds were roaming when that happened. I was very surprised. And then I found out that if you scroll to like the bottom of the set of codes, there's actually a little bar that lets you like scroll the page over. Like there's more text going that way instead of just going to like a further line with the... It's like when you keep on making super long text on a notepad file and then you never hit enter is essentially what it was, where it just kept on going to the right. So there was text that I mixed and I was like, okay, after half an hour of trying to find a shiny Pokemon with that, there's gotta be some text that I missed. And the text that I missed was apparently, while this code is activated, it's like hold R to temporarily change your trainer ID and secret ID. So I was like, okay, do I hold R to activate? So I'd hold the R button and then I release it and then I'd go running back and forth in the grass and still nothing would happen. Nothing like that. And after more and more testing, because of this super unclear description, I found out that what it means by holding R, you can see that my ID number is still 21305. By holding R, it means that it changes your trainer ID and secret ID for as long as you're holding the R button. So if I hold this, my ID number is now 20101. But if I release the button and I go back into it, then it's back to its normal thing. This was not described on the thingamabob, and I was testing for like the better part of an hour trying to figure out what the heck was meant. But now I get it. So, like, this code won't be doing anything, just going about minding our own business. But as long as I'm holding the R button, it'll have the things be changed, and it will have like 1 in 5 shiny odds essentially. Like if I increase the emulation speed a whole bunch, bada bing bada boom. Like as long as I'm holding this button here, it'll be a lot easier to tell here. Oh my goodness, it's so fast. Let's go ahead and yeah, I'm holding the R button. So nothing yet. Nothing yet. Because results may vary. It's not like it's a guarantee. It's a 1 in 5. There we go. There's the first one. So it's kind of strange how it's programmed like this. So if I'm going through random grass and we do want to find like the freaking 1 in 5 shiny odds with the wacky cute charm glitch, then look at that. Then I need to be holding this freaking button on my keyboard the whole time. Holding the R button. So it's a little bit wonky like that. I think it's crazy that this is, you know, a glitch in the first place in these games. I mean, it's part glitch, part cheaty Pete ways that we're using here. We're using cheaty Pete ways to exploit a glitch. Is essentially what's going on. So we're doing like a weird mix of cheating and glitch exploitation. And I mean, if you did it completely legitimately, you can't actually get a shiny Giratina. This only works on Pokemon of the opposite gender. That's why Cute Charm is so important, is the thing here. So like we have male Clefable here, so it would only work on like female target freaking Pokemon there, for example. So we can always catch like a different Afear to Fearow. So you can only use it on Pokemon that can be either gender. Giratina is genderless, meaning this glitch does not work to get shiny Giratina. I know that when we originally fought Giratina, I was like, you know what? Let's just save it for like cute charm glitch and we could get it shiny. Yeah, it turns out that's not actually possible, unfortunately. We can't actually do that. There is only one legendary Pokemon in this game that you can use the cute charm glitch on. It has to be a Pokemon that can be either gender, and it's not set. Every legendary Pokemon in this game is either genderless or it's a fixed gender like Cresselia, which is always female, except for one. And that one, the only legendary Pokemon in this game that is a 50-50 of what gender it can be, is somewhere over on this island. And if we have a look at the town map, it's up in the place that we haven't been, lurking at the top of Stark Mountain. So that's gonna be the only place that we can go to use this freaking glitch to get a shiny legendary. And that's gonna be the only one that we can get. Like, I mean, we've embraced cheaty Pete ways already. We could always just like run an action replay code like all Pokemon be shiny. But no, that's not fun. That's not fun. That's lame. I don't want to run a freaking random action replay code that, gosh darn it, why am I thinking of newer Pokemon games where the shop is in the mart? I need to stock up on some Pokeballs. That's not fun. There's nothing spicy about that. It's just like, oh, you just cheated and there's a shiny Pokemon. With the cute charm glitch, it's like, okay, you cheated, but it's like, you're showing off a cool glitch that existed in the 4th generation of games, you know? So it's crazy that that's a thing that existed. So it's technically possible to do it without any cheating at all. Technically. If you get really, really lucky and you get like a trainer ID and a secret ID really, really close that gives you that good RNG. But there's no way to know your secret ID unless you cheat anyway. Like, there are some things that you can manipulate to get a rough idea of what your secret ID is. So you could just keep on making new save files over and over again until it seems like you've gotten close to the right values that you need, which you can't even know for certain. So if you want to do the cute charm glitch in the 4th generation of Pokemon games, the question is, how much would you like to cheat, essentially? Would you like to go completely legitimately and just keep reloading save files and using like some tactics that give you a rough idea of what your secret ID is, but not knowing for certain, and just hope for the best and get a Pokemon with a cute charm and see if it works and hope that, you know, you were right that those ID values were close enough and that you can do it? Do you want to do like very slight cheaty tactics and use cheats that just tell you what your secret ID is and then just, you know, keep on reloading until you get the right thing and whatnot? Is that what you want to do? Or do you want to embrace full cheaty ways and just freaking use a cheat that changes your trainer ID and secret ID manually, which is what we did in this case? Well, it changes as long as we hold the R button with this specific code. And by the way, when this is on YouTube after the fact, I'll be sure to include the page in the description below and full credit to the codes there for anybody else who wants to, you know, try this at home, I guess. So yeah, when it comes to doing the cute charm glitch, the question is, how much of a cheaty Pete do you want to embrace? For the sake of simplicity, I just went full cheaty Pete, is the thing, for simplicity's sake. Even using the code that gave us like the whole preset level 100 Clefable, it just lets us, you know, breeze through enjoying our time with the glitch without, you know, too many worries or anything like that, you know? So that's what's going on there. That's what's going on there. Sure, let's get some of these pieces of crap is what we'll do. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's technically possible to do it without any cheating and just using purely the in-game glitch and whatnot. But it's really, really hard to get set up with the trainer ID and the secret ID that you need for that to happen. So I'm gonna guarantee you won't ever lose a battle. They don't sell anything like that, says the clown. So you can absolutely exploit this glitch legitimately, like without any cheating or codes or anything like that. But it's a massive, massive pain from what I hear. People do have guides out there on how you can do it without like any form of cheating whatsoever. And just, you know, figuring out how the heck you can get your trainer ID and secret ID close enough. I might turn down the volume here just a couple decibels, something like that-ish. Something along those lines. There we go. So yeah, as long as we're going through tall grass, I guess I can hold the R, but what was the way up to Stark Mountain? Was it, wait, hold on a hot second. So that's our plan for today is, okay, so we gotta go east more and then we can go up. So that's the plan for today is to, freaking go be doing that. Go be doing stuff in Stark Mountain and see what happens over there. Also, I guess the Pokemon over here isn't quite right if I'm using this Clefairy, but you know, whatever. Whatever, man. Wild's very rock. Would you like to use Rock Climb? Should I have come this way from the other way? Oh, there's some, whatever. I got places to be. So, Squizzy, please don't battle me. Okay, I must have already battled you because I need experience and whatnot. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. So, as we go through tall grass, I guess I'll hold the R button. And if things happen, things happen. If they don't happen, they don't happen. But yeah, the fun thing about this glitch is you just freaking encounter shiny Pokemon like all the time is the thing. Roughly 1 in 5. It's about 21%. Roughly 21% of the time is, ah, gosh darn it. Darn you, game. So there's some very intriguing glitches in this game. Like I'm tempted to look into some other glitches that we could showcase on this playthrough just because it's fun and whatnot. I know about tweaking, but in Platinum version, there's a whole bunch of invisible walls that make tweaking less spicy than it was in Diamond and Pearl, where there weren't invisible walls in the void, and you could go out and catch freaking Darkrai Shaman, and you could catch Arceus unlimited times in Jubilife City in Diamond and Pearl, but not Platinum, which is really funny. Especially considering that, you know, that event was, oh, what the heck, was never even released, was the thing. So, look at that, there's a freaking, there's a shiny Fearow that's all glowy and whatnot. We get a feared yellow Fearow. I stumbled on my words for a hot second there. But I mean, imagine running away from a shiny. I still to this day have never encountered like a shiny Pokemon randomly without looking for shiny Pokemon. It's such a big sad after all my years of playing. Pokemon was a thing. Except for once, technically. I appreciate the follow there, mo meow. There was technically once where I was playing, I don't think I've mentioned it before, but I was playing Fire Red and like just on my phone and whatnot. And I think it was like right around Viridian Forest-ish that I found a shiny Oddish and I thought I could just whittle it down with Scratch and I one-shotted it. But yeah, if there's one thing you want the remasters to do is actually release the Arceus event. That'd be freaking cool. Or make the events not just like a, you know, thing where it's like either you are there when it happens or else you're screwed until the end of time, you know? Like, I do kind of like the idea of, you know, here's some stuff that you can do while the game is supported and whatnot. And in that way, I guess you could say that Pokemon kind of embraced the games as a service thing in a weirdly different way, way earlier. But look, Shiny Wingull is green, apparently. I don't know what the heck I'm saying here. I do like the idea of, like, games being supported as they go on. Maybe not the games as a service kind of model, but, like, you know, there's an active community and, like, content and stuff coming out. I don't like the idea of, like, oh, you weren't doing things during this specific month? Guess you're just never getting that Pokemon right there because you missed the 1 month that we were doing the thing. That's funny because these events are hard programmed into the game. It's not like that content is added onto your game because of that whole shebang. Like, these events are programmed into the game. That's why you can get them with glitches and in the void and whatnot. It's just freaking the events that give you items that unlock the events, which, you know, we've cheated in for the sake of being able to do them since we're not there at the time for this playthrough, so we already did so for freaking Darkrai, we already did so for the Rotom event, and we sure as heck will be doing for the other events, including the unreleased stuff. And we go this way, I guess, as we go up to Stark Mountain. We've done a whole bunch of freaking Cheaty Pete stuff in this playthrough at this point. Like, this went from a basically okay, that's the one that heals you. This went from a pretty legitimate bare bones playthrough to the story of Harmonia, the Cheaty Pete, is what this quickly became. Should I have a different Pokemon at front for battles and stuff? Hold on, switch to Mallows here. Anyway, I don't really like the whole model of you know, those events and whatnot. I thought they were intriguing as a kid, but the fact that it's like you weren't there for this 1 month, guess you're never doing that content in this game, I think is rather silly. So, I really hope that in the Diamond and Pearl remasters on the Switch, it's just in-game stuff, like the event items for Darkrai, Shaman, and Arceus. Absolutely. Like, knowing Pokemon, they're probably not going to, because it would take away, like, that Pokemon's mythical status, where it's like, mythical Pokemon are ones that you can only get during limited time events, and they probably want those Pokemon to stay mythical and be with limited time events. I think the only time that a mythical Pokemon has been like at least one of the only few times that a mythical Pokemon has been like capturable in a normal gameplay kind of thing was Sword and Shield in the DLC with Keldeo, where you could catch that. But thinking about it, there was also a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire with Deoxys that made Deoxys capturable in the Delta episode, despite being an event-only Pokemon before that. So who knows? Maybe they'll give the Diamond and Pearl remasters the Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire treatment, where they take mythicals like Darkrai, Shaman, and Arceus, like they did with Deoxys and Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and just make them like base game obtainable or like epilogue kind of thing or something like that. Maybe. If they don't, I think that'd be really dumb, and I have a feeling they might not, but we'll see. Yo, Visit Harm, out training right away, are you? So since you're training anyway, can you do me a favor? I owe like 20 bucks to my dealer, like really badly. I'd like to patrol Stark Mountain for me. Okay, up past here. This is Volcano at Stark Mountain. Deep inside it is a special rock called the Magma Stone. Say that it gets you higher than a freaking kite. I can't explain it well, but it's really important. Trust me. Look into my eyes and see how important it is. It keeps a Pokemon asleep. But lately, I've been hearing rumors about vandals in Stark Mountain. They say goons in spacesuits are causing trouble there. Huh? What, me? I don't know what I was gonna make a joke about there, and then I freaking lost my train of thought. I was on my way to the Pokemon Center because my Pokemon's low on HP. There's a granny down there that's gonna keep telling you to rest over and over again. So if you could get up to Stark Mountain now, that'd be great, thanks! Okay. I guess there will be trainer battles around here, so we're not gonna be encountering like 1 in 5 shiny Pokemon around here right now, because we gotta go battle like trainers and stuff. In which case I might actually use a repel. I wish that there was an easier way to sort things out here. And uno momento. Oh, I can't actually turn that off on this layout. Oh, uno momento. I'm gonna switch to this layout then. Apologies, I had to chat there for a hot second. What's the thing? A thing I was not expecting? Super repels, alright. I should have stocked up on super repels. My goodness gracious. I should have absolutely stocked up on those. Is there an item? There is an item. It's a star piece. My goodness. My, oh my. Well, let's head up this way, I suppose. You're gonna be a fighting type user is the thing, so we'll go ahead and switch like this. Here's what we do. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, friendo. I've meditated under a waterfall to temper my spirit. Allow me to demonstrate its strength. I've never been under a waterfall before myself, I can't say. I can't say I have. You are challenged by Black Belt Griffin. Black Belt Griffin sent out Breloom. Good old Breloom, that's gonna be 4 times weak to my fly. Guess you never saw that one coming. Oh my goodness, I'm not actually as high over level as my opponents as I hoped I would be. My goodness. Use Spore. How about you don't? That's the one freaking put to sleep move that has like 100% accuracy. Or wait, I might lose my mind. Is Spore like 80% and Dark Void is the one 100% one? That's at 100%? Or is Dark Void at 80% and Spore's at 100%? I don't know. I don't know what the heck. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I'll just send in Medicham. Let's let's actually keep on battling here is what I think we're going to do. That's my plan. Look at Medicham over there. But yeah, anyway, oh yes, detect this turn. That works for me. Anyway, in some other news, I know that earlier in our Pokemon Platinum playthrough, I was talking about the Fragapalooza tournaments coming up, and that was now 3 days ago at the time of streaming this. So it went from, we were a little bit concerned about turnout for a little while because there was like 3 or 4 people registered for a time. It shot up to like 118 or something like that by the time it started. I even had some people like DMing me being like, oh, the registration's closed, but could you still register me? So I was freaking, I don't like saying no to people, and I freaking started registering some people last minute. One of the ones I registered last minute was someone who came in 2nd place, so they were probably pretty happy about being registered last minute there. But it also meant that I couldn't quite organize other things as well as I would have been able to otherwise. And hi, I have to come real close for you to spot me apparently. Pokemon Icy only victory. And we had some issues at first. Like, I'm very used to commentating and hosting Smash tournaments, I'm not used to managing brackets for Smash tournaments is the thing. And well, we had a lot of complaints from people saying that the seeding wasn't good at all. And I had seeded the bracket, but as it turns out, there was another button that you needed to press to actually generate the bracket with your seed. So as I was tinkering around with things, trying to change things around, turns out I never actually properly seeded the bracket, even though I did take time to seed said bracket. Like, oh, ow. Big rude. And the tournament wound up getting delayed by over half an hour as we were figuring out like the whole seeding situation and whatnot. And at the end of the day, it still wasn't the best kind of thing, but we figured it out and we got there and we got things underway. And my Pokemon, and I had a whole bunch of things written up in like the rule set that was made for the tournament. And well, some of the settings on Smash GG were a bit different because, like, for example, if I switch over to my my whole stage list layout here, our starter stages were supposed to be Battlefield, Final Destination, Pokemon Stadium 2, Smashville, Town and City. Ignore the fact that there's 176 down there. There's a reason for that I won't get into here. And our counter pick stages were supposed to be Kalos, Small Battlefield, and Yoshi's Story. But for whatever reason, the starter stages on Smash GG, the way that it was actually set up, was Battlefield, Final Destination, Pokemon Stadium 2, Smashville. And instead of Town and City, it was Lilac Cruise. And I was so confused why it displayed that. I was like, oh, I guess Lilat's a stage now. So I slapped a Lilat onto the layout here as well in that space there. But it was listed as a starter stage on the actual thing. And I didn't even realize that there was an option to freaking set what stages people could choose on the thing. I just wrote the starter stages and the counterpick stages in the official rule set. I didn't even, I went through all the options that I could find at least. And hi, silly doggy. I couldn't find anything that said anything like that. Hey, Jesse, can you come here? Jesse, come here. Come see me. Come see me. Come here. Can you come up? Hi. Hi. How are you doing? How's it going here? Hey. Look at all the binders still on the ground back there. This is what happens when I work from home. As I've probably mentioned so many times by now. My good gracious. So yeah, there was a little bit of confusion over the stages. There were also some confusion over freaking what games were going to be streamed because I mentioned on the Life Orb, that's spicy. I wrote on the rule set for the tournament, like all matches and winners quarterfinals and up will be on stream. Despite that didn't stop some people from starting anyway because I guess they didn't read the rules. And so there was that. So let's keep going more north here. It's been a long time since I've been around here. My good gracious, because, you know, it's been like a decade since playing these games. Oh, hello. This is it, Stark Mountain. Now we need to get deep inside. Let's do this. And when it comes to people not reading the rule set, yeah, but can that old guy really take over? Can he replace Master Cyrus? Yeah, I hear you. That Elder Charon is a commander, but he can't replace Master Cyrus. Maybe this is a good time for me to be done with this Team Galactic thing. When it came to the Fragapalooza Smash tournament, one of the most important parts about it in the rule set was that people that were registered in the tournament also needed to register on Fragapalooza's site as an attendee of the, 4-day Frag event, essentially. And the reason for this is the sponsors that are actually supplying the prize pool, that's the number that they care about, where they're like, okay, this was a good sponsorship for us and good advertising for us. It's the Frag attendees that's the number that they actually care about. And that's going to be important considering they were the ones supplying the $500 prize pool. It changed to, it was originally going to be $300, but we upped it to $500 after over 100 people registered. And I had it like literally the very top of the rule set. All caps, important. Like, anybody registering in this tournament must also be registered on Frag's site to be eligible for prizing. And it's not like it's all that much hassle. It's free registration on both things. And I also had it, the same note, right beside the prizing itself, saying, to be eligible for prizing, you must be registered on Frag's site. And we had the prize distribution set up so that, like, if you were in top 8, you were walking away with some cash, essentially. And, well, just goes to show that some people don't read the rules, considering 2 of our top 8 were not registered on Frag's site. So